Now we're ready. We are live from Montana. How about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live call-in show. I am your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Today is Sunday, October the 15th, 2023. We are 24 hours past ugly loss by Auburn at LSU. We're going to get to it all. Joining me now is Mr. Jhead, who's here 100% of the time when he is here. And Cole is somewhere along the lines. He's not stuck in a boat in the middle of the lake this week, but he is having some technical difficulties. He will be joining us relatively soon. I don't know if we can hear him.
Nope.
Cole, that's the best your voice has ever heard.
I know. We're going to work on Cole's sign language tonight. You know what I mean?
That's the best your voice has ever sounded. Excuse me.
Mm.
So we're going to get to as many phone calls as we can tonight. I know there's going to be quite a lot of comments of people upset with the Auburn Tigers, who lost 48-18 last I counted. I think I quit watching about 4 or 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Well, we'll see what it says. It's we're going to get to many phone calls as we can. 701-779-9585. Go ahead and give us a call. Before we do, I know if you're looking for a home in or around Auburn, Opelika, I know exactly who you can call to get you some help. Her name is Miss Jessica Andrews. She's with the Talents Group. She sold one today, she says, from the fire pit. Give her a call. She is a 5-star realtor, 334-704-4442. She can find what you're looking for in Auburn, Opelika, Lee County. She can sell your house so that you can find what you're looking for in Auburn, Opelika. Give her a call, Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you. All right, Mr. Jhead. I'm going to have, for some reason, my mic keeps going in and out, so just bear with me if I have to turn it back on. Auburn, 48-18 losers in Death Valley last night. Quick thoughts.
Well, Jeffrey, I think, look, we said it last week on this show. I think you echoed that sentiment again on the modcast. You know where I like this matchup. I think both of us thought going into Death Valley with the wide receivers that could present the difficulty to our secondary that we haven't been exposed to yet. LSU's defensive line kind of being a little bit of a mismatch for our offensive line. The house of horrors that has been Peyton Thorne on the road in the SEC and on the road, period. It was just a recipe for disaster. I didn't love the game plan last night, but I didn't think it was all coaching. I mean, I think there's talent there. And look, Auburn fans are getting a taste of a true rebuild for the first time since 1999. It's been 20-plus years since Auburn's had a real rebuild. And I don't think that fans were necessarily prepared for that. And maybe I should have done a better job from this seat of trying to let them know how much of a rebuild they were in for. But in the words of Rick Pitino, Cam Newton's not coming through that door. You know what I mean? Nick Marshall's not coming through that door. Bo Jackson's not coming through that door. And you are what you are right now. And the talent floor nor ceiling is where it needs to be to have an off night from a schematic standpoint and not to be able to execute and be able to overcome the kind of talent that you're going to face on the road in the SEC, specifically in a hostile environment like Death Valley. And
are you? Let me ask you this: we've tried to do this every week. Little update. We all have been at 7-5 prediction for a season's record. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. I still think it's all in front of us. Look, we're at the platable part of our season now, right? I think everybody, or at least my perception on this has been, you had Murderers Row that you had to get through. I predicted us to be 0-3 going through that slate. We are 0-3. Now you've got a game against Ole Miss, and this is the one that I circled before the season, during the season. This is the one I thought we could get an upset in. If you can get this one, and then you get 2 out of the next 4, you're at 7-5. And I think that's doable. I honestly do.
Who are the away games?
The away games are Arkansas and Vanderbilt.
Okay, man, I'm sorry, dude. It's gonna be really hard for me to pick Auburn to win on the road. I'm sorry. That it is unbelievable how unbelievably bad the passing game has been on the road this year. I mean, It's unbelievable. It really is. Like, who are you? What is this? I know people are calling for Peyton Thorne to be benched. I understand why. He's been dreadfully bad. He was again last night. So New Mexico State, Mississippi State. I'm gonna be honest with you, and Vandy. I'll give you those 3.
Mm-hmm.
Find me another win.
I honestly believe you get one of Ole Miss or Arkansas, and I favor the Ole Miss game. Look, I think the spread on this game right now is either 3 or 5.
7.5.
Is it 7.5 now? So I was looking at some early lines. I still
Zach said it was 2 early last. It was 2. Ole Miss -2 last week, but when they came out today, it was 7.5. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I don't like Auburn against anybody who has an offense capable of scoring 30 points a game. And Ole Miss averages 40 something. Zach says the spread is currently at 6. It opened today, according to On3, at 7.5. I noticed that. I saw the notification. Cole, can we get a mic check on you?
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
I don't have a phone tonight. It wasn't working, so we'll just roll with this.
I hear you, Jeffrey, but I think Jordan-Hare keeps it closer. Ole Miss does have a potent offense. I'm not going to pretend like they don't. But a large majority of what they need to manufacture comes out of the running game. Their weapons on the outside do not scare me at all. Look, the Turner kid from La Tech is good. Don't get me wrong. But I think they lost one of their most explosive weapons in the passing game 2 games ago. I'm not sure if the slot kid's going to be able to go or not. Prescoring the tight end he's a mismatch issue. I'm interested to see how Eugene Asante does matching up against him, as well as Jalen Simpson. But I think this is one. Look, Hugh Freeze has traditionally upset somebody he was not supposed to. I think Ole Miss is the kind of team that can be upset. I believe that. I think, look, just now, look, Freeze's MO is also to play down. I mean, to play poorly. You know what I mean? In games that, that aren't the big ones that he's not up for. I'm going to be honest about that, and I'm sure he doesn't appreciate me saying it, but it is. But he also has the MO of coming up big in big games on one that you don't expect. And I just feel like this is the one that's coming. This is feel on me for saying this one right now. And I'll take that in the chat and or on the show and on the board from anybody that wants to issue that to me. I got it coming, okay? But I got a feeling on this one.
Cole, your thoughts on the LSU game, then we're going to get to some phone calls.
Yeah, I'm trying to go through the game with the play script. That, to me, is how I can get on this show and sit here and talk about it and have some confidence when I do it. So that's why, we're doing that right now. I'm through halftime on that, and what I see right now is regression. That's the problem. It's regression from, hey, you were just a few plays away at A&M from making it a real ball game. Hey, you were just a few plays away at Georgia from winning the game. You go to LSU, and it's like you took, 100 steps back offensively, especially the passing game. Now, what I see from Thorne, and just like you, Jhead, look, people are going – everything I say on the board right now, somebody's going to disagree with. That's just the way it is right now. Whatever. Okay. That's fine. That's cool. That's fine. With Peyton Thorne, he's got a confidence issue, and we know this. People joke on me for saying he's accurate. Well, he's not inaccurate. He puts the ball where it needs to be sometimes. Sometimes he puts it in a place where he thinks the receiver's supposed to be, and they're not. I think there's some fundamental issues here that I can't quite grasp, and I don't know because I'm not at practice, and I can't see all these things. But it comes down to the little things, little fundamental issues that get everything haywire. And I think here's a term about Peyton Thorne that I don't think you've heard yet. Overcoached.
Yeah.
Overcoached. That means he is so scared of messing up. He is so robotic when it comes to this is what I'm supposed to do. I cannot improvise. I don't improvise. I'm not an improviser. I'm going to do it this way. That it's dangerous for Auburn. And that's where you're at right now. So it's almost better to go with a guy like Robbie Ashford, who probably will turn it over at some point, make some mistakes. Yes, open receivers do these kind of things, but at least he takes a chance.
He does. And if you're talking about improvisational skills, I'm sorry, Jeffrey. You go ahead.
I was going to say the one positive that you could take away, there weren't any turnovers that I can recall.
No turnovers. Camden Brown got involved from a positive standpoint.
Caleb Burton.
We got another interception on defense. So you created another turnover to continue to push out the lead. I think that this defense has in turnovers accrued.
How bad was the offense? You won the turnover battle. LSU had 12 penalties to your 5, and you still lost by 30.
Yeah, man. And I think probably the biggest thing I took away defensively from this is rush lane integrity was just not there at all at any point during the night. That is another thing that killed us on certain things where we actually had it schemed up in the back end, and then we were in man coverage, and Jaden Daniels breaks one. Ole Miss also doesn't have that capability. Look, the quarterback is fantastic at Ole Miss, but he's not nearly the athlete that Jaden Daniels is. It's not even close.
All right, Zach, get us to the phone line, man. We know we want to hear from everybody else, man. Let's see what they got to say.
All right. Let's see. We'll start here. 3704. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Charlie from Muscle Shoals.
Oh, Charlie. What's on your mind tonight, Mr. Charlie?
Well, I'm wondering if it's just me or if y'all see it too. Does the offense not click better when Robbie Ashford's in there?
I haven't noticed that, no.
I think he gave us more pop on offense last night for what limited role he had. I did notice it last night that Robbie gave us a little bit more juice when he was in the game. Now, Cole said it best. His role was limited in what they allowed him to do. It wasn't the full offense, but what he did have, I thought he created some positives with the plays he had available to him.
There you go.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know, but I mean, to me, it looked like click better. I mean, he threw passes. It was caught. It's on target.
Well,
the Brandon Frazier seam route was beautiful.
That was really the only real throw he was allowed to make.
Mm-hmm.
Frazier, he hit it. Hey, big time. If you can show Hugh Freeze that you can hit an open receiver, or not even an open receiver, a receiver that's contested at that, if you can put it in a place where he can go make a play, you're going to be the starter next week. I promise.
I'm with you.
Now that's 1-3.
Guys.
Charlie, good stuff, man. I know that's going to be a popular subject tonight, you know, whether or not Peyton Thorne is the best Auburn has to offer to put out there. And after seeing him at home, you go, okay, I get it. Right? He's serviceable at home. He's been pretty impressive at home. Then you put him in a white jersey on the road, and it's like, Robbie and Holden Garner and even Henry Brown, are y'all really this bad that you can't beat this guy out in the coach's eyes? Like, Peyton Thorne on the road has been atrocious.
Jeffrey, very quickly, I think I have a theory. Okay.
All right.
Is it possible we've been looking at this wrong the whole time?
Hell yeah.
Is it possible that we've looked at this as, hey, you know, Freeze is very concerned about the offense and what they are? Is it actually the defense that he's concerned about? Is it the depth on defense getting worn down in games, and he's like, I have got to find a way to stay on offense? And he's
y'all to try making a first down.
Right.
That'd be the first step.
I found it interesting right now. When he needed a first down last night, it was the drive right before the halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn used all the clock. He went with Ashford. Now, if that's the case, what are you doing? If you believe he's the guy that can get you a first down in a time of need, what in the world? What are you doing? That's my question. I don't understand that, because it's like, are you more worried about the offense or are you more worried about the defense being on the field longer because you have depth issues? I'm not sure what it is. Maybe we've been looking at it wrong. Maybe it's, hey, I've got to find a way, and turning over the ball will just give them points. Because if my defense gets back out there, we're in trouble.
I haven't thought
Hey, you look at stuff, it's not working.
He certainly knows more about this team than we all do combined. But I'm sure that's going to be a popular topic. Let's go to number 2, Zach.
8212. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
This is Paul from Hartsville.
Oh, Paul, welcome back, big dog. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, first of all, I was wondering, are you like out hunting elk somewhere? Because you've got a real, like a beautiful scene behind you there, Jeffrey.
I came out to Montana, did a little trout fishing today. I got to get back to Alabama so I can do a little bow hunting this week.
Oh, okay. Well, the reason I was calling, and I couldn't hear the first part of the show, so I may just be repeating what somebody has already said. But after watching the game last night and getting on the site and reading the comments, I had 3 thoughts. Number one, the offense is what it is.
There you go.
It's just, I mean, people who call for Thorne to be benched, Ashford in the, whoever is behind center, the Auburn faithful are not going to like. They're just not. For everything that I think Ashford can give you that Thorne doesn't, there's something that he's going to do that could be worse. It's just like, I look back to last night when it was 20-7 and Auburn was on about the 20-25 yard line, and back-to-back plays, Perkins blitzed, and the first play, Ashford just had to throw it away. The second play, he took a sack, and you saw Hugh Freeze say, just run the ball. And to me, that's one of his deficiencies. If you put whoever you put back there, there's not a receiver that's going to make them look better, and we don't have a quarterback that can make the receivers look better. We just don't. And Jarquez Hunter is either injured or he's not bought in. Something is off with him. I don't know what it is. Maybe y'all have some insight, but he's not the running back that he was.
He's good. He's not great.
I think Jeremiah Cobb, he impresses me, and not just because he gained yards last night, but the way he runs. He just looks different.
I
agree.
Y'all agree?
Absolutely.
And then defensively, you don't have Nasili Kike, probably the best lineman. I don't know. I would say if he's not the best, he's one of. You don't have Austin Keys. Don't know what he would be because he got hurt so early, but he obviously in practice, he was one of the better ones because he started. And then you don't have Scott. Those 3 guys last night, Auburn didn't win the game, but think about there's 3 guys on that field last night that would not be on there nearly as much if those guys are out there. And LSU has dudes that are going to play on Sundays.
Yeah, they do.
And my last thought is, and I say this with all the respect I can, y'all should charge, if you could figure out how to charge based on the idiocy of some of the comments on your you boys could retire rich because, pardon me for saying it, there's some dumbasses, and dumbasses will pay more money to say they're dumbass things because they're dumbasses.
Paul, well said, big dog. Well said. After 20 plus years on the message board business, I can tell you I was absolutely not shocked last night. I even told Jessica I might be up a little bit late because I'm going to be banning folks, and I'm certainly sure as I was. Paul, let me tell you, from what I took from you was some very reasonable takes on all of the points. The most thing that I relate to is I think I have come to accept it is what it is. I didn't expect Auburn to win last night. I didn't think Auburn would look great on offense because of the road woes they've had this so far. So when I see them stinking it up, I'm just like, I mean, this is what you got. It is what it is. Look at Auburn's first 2 drives of that game. It set the tone for the rest of the game. You ain't even snapped the ball yet. You've got a false start, and then I think you lose 2, and then you hit Caleb Burton. It's how it's been all year long. It's a roller coaster. You hit Caleb Burton a 7-yard out, and then it's 3rd and short, and the ball hits Jarquez Hunter or Peyton Thorne in the shoulder. Lose 12, you punt it away, you give up another touchdown, you get it back, you go 3 and out again, you give up a field goal, and then on the third drive, Auburn's third drive, late in the first quarter, after 2 3 and outs and just stinking it up, you hit Camden Brown on a couple of slants there back to back. I think you drove down and scored a touchdown on that third drive of the game. But what I was looking at that first drive of the game, I'm going, man, you had 2 weeks. You had 2 weeks, and this was what you came up with. And I don't know who you is, but you had 2 weeks to prepare your opening drive, and you went minus 14 with a penalty. I don't know. Does that keep us going, Big Dog?
I will say on that blitz he was talking about with Harold Perkins, the second one, that wasn't necessarily on Robbie because the protection slid and the running back was supposed to pick up the edge and the running back went to the A gap.
Yeah.
And it made no sense. So I think that was more the running back not picking up his blocking assignment.
Right.
Well, it was fantastic defense because when the back went out, and they showed this on television, it's the only reason I called it. The Harold Perkins was sliding out with him, but the safety rolled over, took the coverage, and that freed up Perkins to come on the blitz. It was fantastic. It was awesome.
Well, delayed blitzes. Go ahead, Cole. I'm sorry.
If you read the play breakdowns, I mean, I've got a lot of protection issues on the running backs right now.
Yeah.
And people don't get that. Offensive line sucks. Pass protection sucks. Well, guys, the running back accounts for a guy. Okay? A whole guy.
Well, especially when you're in slide protection, right? And that is an automatic check for a lot of these offenses now is to go to slide protection. And so wrap around and delay blitzes have become a real thing. The defensive coordinators have started to dial into to take advantage of that slide protection. And so that's something that Hugh Freeze and Philip Montgomery have to get together on and make sure that the running back knows where to be because that was a drive killer. I mean, we had a really good drive going at that point. And I think Freeze was screaming, run the ball at Montgomery over the headset. I don't think he was screaming at Robbie on that one. That's not what I took from that situation. I think they wanted to call a featured run there, and that's not what we did.
But that's a fantastic point, too. I'm glad you pointed that out. That's exactly what I was saying with little fundamental problems. Like football one-on-one stuff is some of the problems here.
That's the problem. If you go to and you lose and you do things the right way, and you just get beat by a better team, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's just like you can't even your false start on play 1. Your center snaps it to the shoulder pad on a crucial 3rd and short on play 3, and it's like 2 weeks, and that's what you came up with.
Well, and I'll say this again. And Jeffrey, look, we do a show that's featured on recruiting, right? That is
Sure.
what our bread and butter is. That's where we started our podcast trio together was on recruiting. The talent level on this team is not high enough to overcome errors like that. It is not where Georgia's talent ceiling is. It is not where Alabama's. It is not where LSU's, A&M, several other teams in this league right now. You are down there at the bottom. If you're ranking the top, ranking 14, I got Auburn somewhere around 11, if we're being completely honest, as far as overall talent on this roster. Maybe 10.
In the SEC.
You said it perfectly on the board today. I saw your post talking about that, where you can't point at one person. You can't point at one position group. It's everybody.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, you could find one play and you can blame one person. The next one's going to be somebody totally different.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, it falls on, operation.
It does. It falls on the coaching, it falls on the execution, it falls on everything, man. And the only thing that we can continue to do, and we got to get to the callers, is grind and continue to accrue and pick up more talent and develop the talent you do have on this roster. That's
And
really
loosen up.
Yeah, loosen up, have some fun.
Everybody's tight. Even play callers are tight. Everybody's tight.
Hell, the fans are tight.
Yeah.
Well, we got no need for an introduction. 5810, you're live.
Woo! Come on now.
5810, you're live.
But Anthony?
Yeah.
Fellas, can you hear me?
Man, there he is.
How y'all doing tonight?
Doing well, Anthony. We're doing fantastic. Now that you've called, we want to hear some of your. We want to pick your brain a little bit, big dog. What you think about last night?
So I just want y'all opinion on what I'm about to say. And I don't have a question. I just want y'all to respond to what I'm about to say and how y'all feel on this.
Okay.
All right.
So I feel like it's time for Auburn and Thorne to divorce. And I say that because all of the reasons that everybody else feel the opposite. What I feel with Thorne, you can't convince me he's this bad. Thorne, now before I say this, Thorne, I came over here 2 weeks ago and said he's an average quarterback that can't win you a game, but he can't lose them.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say this. Thorne problem is Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze has failed Thorne. And let me tell you why. I feel like if you go look at all, since he's been named the starter, all Hugh Freeze press conference, he has built Robbie up to check Robbie's feelings. I think the worst thing happened to Thorne was he came in and he was supposed to be the veteran guy. He came in, I want to know everybody's name and stuff like that. And he was a leader. And they took that as he was ready. Now, I feel like even though he started at 2 years at Michigan State, it don't matter. He don't feel like they believe in him.
Yep.
Everybody say he looks scared. I think Payne Thorne has checked out. I feel like Payne Thorne, they went and personally got this man. He didn't sign up for this. He didn't sign up to have to look over his shoulder. Not saying that you ain't got to compete, but he like Cole said, he plays timid because he can't play free because he's too worried about Robbie coming in. If Hugh Freeze feels like Robbie got to be on the field, just start him. He just started Robbie. Hugh Freeze has failed Thorne because he don't feel like he believes in him. And that's the bottom line. Thorne is checked out. His receiver's not good. The play calling is iffy. It's not that bad. But then at the same time, it's this hot potato at quarterback. The man, I feel like he is mentally checked out.
Mentally checked out, Cole.
Anthony, I think I'm almost in full agreement with you. I'm trying to think of everything you said here. I think the way you started was perfect. The marriage is wrong. It's just wrong. I think Hugh Freeze needs an innovator. He needs an innovator at quarterback. He needs a Chad Kelly. He needs a Malik Willis, a guy who can do something when the script breaks down a little bit. And Payton Thorne's just not him. He's not that guy. He's not ever going to be. He wasn't at Michigan State. Everything was sort of laid out there. Hey, this is your read. This is where you throw it. This is not what this offense is. It's just not. Nobody can get open. Pass protection's iffy. So if you're not an innovator in this offense, you're in trouble. And that's where I think the problem in the marriage is. It's with the offensive play calling and scheme and Thorne's skill set. It's just like they picked the absolute most wrong guy for the offense they want to run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then again.
And also, let me say this on the board. I understand that Robbie should play, but nobody – Freeze don't hate Robbie. I promise you, nobody wants Robbie to be that guy that y'all want him to be more than Freeze. He's everything that he wants. If it's 3rd and 9 and he put Thorne back out there, it's not like, oh, let me throw Thorne out there. He feels like in his heart that Thorne is the guy that can get them that first down. Robbie, he do not trust Robbie. I wish they would get that through his head. Like now,
It's obvious.
Like you said, if he gonna make mistakes, just put him out there because, like I said, Payne is checked out. So just put Robbie out there and let Robbie run around. But where can OTL? How can I put money towards a tutor for Grayson McCall to come play? Like that's what I want to put my money towards.
Anthony, that is exactly what I was going to say. Peyton Thorne he was in the second window of the transfer portal. They had several quarterback targets in the first, and they didn't get them for various reasons. Okay, they had to. I don't want to say they had to settle because they thought they could do something with Peyton Thorne. They saw what he did at Michigan State and said, "Look, we could do something with this guy." But the marriage is wrong. It's just wrong, and it wasn't their first choice for that reason. He wasn't the type of quarterback that Hugh Freeze has normally had. I don't think.
No, I mean you look at his history. Look at Bo Wallace. That's a guy with improvisational skill that had the ability to let it rip and could run. Malik Willis, Chad Kelly. I think probably last year at Liberty is the first time that he had a quarterback due to injury that didn't have that dual threat ability that he could accentuate to really run his offense the way that it needs to be run to be truly effective. And it's just look, Peyton's a good athlete. He has running ability to him. But you guys are right, man, and specifically on the road. Now, I don't know. Look, maybe he comes back next week and they go with Thorne and he plays really well in Jersey. But I think at this point, it's worth seeing what's the difference now, right? Like, and look, coaches don't look at games that way. That's the way fans look at things. Coaches look at every game like I'm going to put the guy out there that gives me the best opportunity to win. But I think go ahead, Jeffrey. I think you create transparency by showing everybody, look, this is what Robbie Ashford is or is not. I give him full reign of the offense. Let's see what he does. And I'll see what else it shows the locker room why maybe a certain player is playing. Or maybe it shows you made a mistake. I honestly don't know at this point.
Listen, we're talking about the quarterback who just 2 weeks ago put Auburn in a position to beat the number one team in the country.
Yeah.
And now he's checked out. No, he's just pathetic on the road.
Yeah.
Everybody was praising him after the UMass game. Everybody was praising him after the Stanford game. Everybody was praising him after the Georgia game. And now he's checked out. No, he's just bad on the road. All right, keep us going.
6535. You're live. Who are we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Chris, Davenport, Iowa.
Oh, wow.
Big buck country.
Yeah, man. Some mule deer up there.
Yeah. My uncle used to come up here and hunt from where I'm from in Alabama. But anyway, I don't want to get too far on a tangent. This is my first time calling. There's really only two things I follow. It's Auburn athletics and the Braves. So it's been a pretty rough week for me.
I hear you, man.
Here's where I'm at. I don't know a ton about the X's and O's. Do y'all have any of y'all's questions for me this week? I guess I should have asked that because I'm not listening. I just called in.
We don't. I was going to ask how often you floss.
How often do I floss? I floss every day.
Oh,
good for you.
I hear you, Chris. Now you may continue.
After I have my coffee and breakfast. No salt on my watermelon.
What?
I use a loofah and a washcloth.
Zach.
I'm just trying to run through all of them. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Keep him going, man. Keep him going.
All right, guys. So kind of where I'm at with the season. Obviously, I'm disappointed. I'm sure y'all are disappointed too. When you got hired, right, we were expecting an offense that looks a lot better than this. Being away from home up here in Iowa, I had to go through, and I mean, obviously it's not about me, right? but I had to go through a lot, folks talking about the off the field stuff. That's whatever. The on the field stuff, you hear about Gus 2.0. How's this going to lead you guys to anything? Y'all are just retreading the same water. Before the season started, it was kind of easy to combat that kind of talk because Hugh had more success, especially with the quarterback position. I'm not really going to try to throw a bunch of folks under the bus or anything like that. That's not how I like to say, well, at least the players. But, we got to figure out the offense, right? So the way I kind of see it from my perspective, which could be totally wrong because I don't know about the X's and the O's and stuff like that, but it kind of comes down to the personnel decisions we've made, and then maybe a little bit of the leadership starting at the top, the person that's making $6 million a year. From a personnel standpoint, it could have just been me as an Auburn fan. This is going back to last year, looking at how Robbie played. It could have just been me as an Auburn fan trying to see the best, right? But watching Robbie last year kind of reminded me of early Nick in his ability to improvise, kind of escape stuff. And yeah, he'd miss the short routes, maybe throw him a little too much mustard, a little bit behind. But when he needed to put that deep ball somewhere, that was usually pretty accurate. And when things broke down, he could get loose and he could make something happen. On the flip side of that, what we have this year is just a catastrophe so far. I don't even know what's going on offense. We got an offense that'll make the man up the road. He'd be ashamed of this offense. I'm talking about Kurt Ferentz because I'm right up the street from Iowa, University of Iowa. And then aside from that, like I said, I don't know the X's and O's, but what I do know is TJ Finley. I know you guys have your opinions on him. I do too. But he's 153 for 222, 1,900 yards, 14 touchdowns, and 3 picks. He's probably going to be a late-round NFL draft pick. And we couldn't do anything with him with the last administration, which I know what all was going on there, or I know some of what was going on there. But this current one didn't seem to think they could do anything either. And we have what we have on the field right now. And then from a leadership standpoint, I've got a son, right? If every week I'm out there, if every week I go somewhere and tell anybody that'll listen, hey, my son's not as good as the kids down the street. My son can't do what your son can do. And I'm doing that publicly where he can hear it. It don't matter what I'm telling him to do at home. Eventually, he's going to think he ain't as good as the kid down the street.
Chris, what are you trying to say, big dog? Wrap it up for us. Put it all in a cute box.
The players, while it may be true, maybe saying all that is kind of, wearing on them because, we look like we've regressed in the season, and it seems like the answer or the response to why we've regressed is we don't have the players. And while that may be true,
Chris, you think Auburn regressed 2 weeks ago when they should have beat number 1 Georgia?
No, and I get that.
Or do they just stink on the road?
Now,
just call it like it is. I think that's kind of what it is. I think it's everybody's problem, man. Good call, Chris. We appreciate you, big dog. I think that's what I've come to conclude. I've come to accept. Auburn sucks on the road. I don't expect anything from Auburn on the road. So when they suck on the road, I expected it. Okay. At home, they've been fantastic. Peyton Thorne's been fantastic. He hasn't been perfect, but he's been very good. He's given Auburn a chance to win in every game, including number 1 Georgia. We'll see what he does this weekend. Ole Miss, if he gets a chance. Who knows? I don't know. Hugh Freeze, again, knows who gives the team the best chance to win a football game. That's what he's paid to do, and we'll see what he thinks. Maybe it's Robbie. Maybe it's Holden Gerner. Maybe it's Henry Brown. I don't know. But it's 2 different teams here. It's 2 different quarterbacks. I think when people come to accept that, until we see proof of concept, Jhead, of Peyton Thorne doing something different on the road than stinking it up, people should just expect the worst on the road. I'm sorry, it's just how it is. Is that what you got, Big Dog?
0880. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
This is Julian, and I'm driving back from the LSU game currently. But I just wanted to know what y'all thought about this new Austin Davis hire and where the quarterback Zach Calzada could take us.
That is the best joke yet.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's funny.
That was good.
Appreciate you, Julian. Sound like you stayed up a little late last night. Be careful.
8519. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Yo, this ain't first time caller, but I've been listening a lot.
Right on, brother. What's your
name?
Ant from Luverne.
All right, Ant from Luverne.
Oh, Luverne.
My neck of the woods, brother.
Yeah.
Mike DuBose, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I played for him. That was my coach his first year down here.
Cool.
Get out of here. I played against Mike when I was at Elba, so we probably saw each other on the field, brother.
Oh, yeah. Y'all had a pretty good team back then.
We was all right. I rode the bench a lot, so it's okay.
What's on your mind tonight, Ant? What did you think about last night, Big Dog?
My question is it the fact that he just can't see the open receivers that are like through his progression? Say the hot read's not open. Your option 1 isn't open, but 2 or 3 might be open.
Cool. Jhead, you notice that? Has he went through his reads? Has he gotten to 3 or 4? Has he gotten to the
Okay. A great example, you go and watch Jaden Daniels on a throw.
Oh, man.
It was his third progression right past Jalen Simpson, and Simpson was on the guy. He was in his zone. It was a zone defense for Auburn. He goes 1, 2, not there. I got all day, and he got no pass rush. 3, there he is. I hit him right over the middle. Okay. I don't see a lot of that from Auburn's offense. I don't see a lot of that. I mean, it turned into last night, hey, there's a single matchup, which I like those. Just throw it. And I watched Peyton Thorne's eyes. Snap, I'm on it. There's nothing else. I'm not looking at anything else. It looks like they're telling him to do that. I could be very wrong about that. I don't know. But I don't see a lot of, longer developing pass routes and concepts anymore. I saw it earlier in the year. Now it's like, all right, we can't do it. Throw it out. That's what Freeze said Monday at the presser too. Hey, if we can't do it, take it out. So I didn't see any of that much in the LSU game. Did you, Jhead?
I saw a full progression route tree on a handful, and they highlighted one where Luke Deal was coming screaming open on a 7 route, cutting towards the end zone, and Peyton got to the top of his drop and just didn't see him, like, at all. And by the time he did recognize it, it was too late, and it was covered up by the defender. So I think it's probably a combination of 2 things. Yes, I think he's probably being coached to look towards the one-on-ones. I think they've decided at this point the running game's the strong suit. When we're deciding to go to an RPO or we're in a pass matchup, we're looking automatically to the one-on-one that we think is the most advantageous for us in pre-snap. And I think it's hard right now for Peyton to get his eyes off that guy that's got the favorable one-on-one in their opinion, or where he's been coached to go with the ball. I think that speaks to what you were talking about with improvisational skills, Cole, in that when it's not there, Peyton feels a little uneasy. It feels like checking off and or doing something different with the football, whether that's pulling it down, running with it, what have you. There's just some kind of pause there, some kind of something that's holding him back just a little bit. And I don't know exactly what that is. And look, Jeffrey's also right. He has been significantly better at home. He has been terrible on the road. I've seen it at both. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen him do that at home too. It's just not probably as highlighted and or as exaggerated as it is on the road. And I don't know if that's crowd noise. I don't know if it's, just uneasiness with the offense. I don't know. I wish I did. I wish I were in the building. I wish I could give you guys a straight answer in full transparency. I'm not.
Jhead, there was a deep curl where he did read through. He's going to make the right throw, gets knocked down at the line. There's one.
Yep.
There's another was a spacing concept. He had Luke Deal there, threw him to the left. Bad throw.
Mm-hmm.
Missed your chances there, bud.
Yeah, he did.
Sure did. Hey, good stuff, Ant. Appreciate your call, big dog. Keep us going there, Zach.
4947. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Good evening, guys. This is Wardank. Hope y'all are doing well.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm in a world of pain tonight, guys. I really thought 20 plus hours would help, but no, not really. Not really at all. I had this long-winded intro I was going to give you, but I'm just going to skip it because let's just get to the point here. So, look, I think Peyton Thorne's done. If we see him starting again, I don't know what to say if we see him start again. But let's say that we see Robbie in there.
Mm-hmm.
What does the offense look like with Robbie? I mean, we got to try to pass the ball, right? I mean, we're going to run it a lot, clearly, and we can do that well, I think. But what does it look like? I just want to know, what do you think it looks like? Lay it out for me.
Good stuff there, Dank. Anybody have any opine? Anybody want to opine?
Yeah, this is what I'm afraid of, right? I don't believe that Hugh Freeze trusts Robbie Ashford. And who said it? Was it Anthony that said that?
Yeah.
So guess what that probably means?
Even more vanilla offense than you got right now.
Student body left and student body right.
And by the way, I'm at this point, I'm like, look, Robbie's the one that can improvise a little bit. Try him. But if you're not going to give him the offense, it doesn't matter. It's going to be the same. So you better give him the offense if you put him in, right?
If you put him in, I think you've got to do the same thing you're doing with Peyton, except you got to tailor it a little bit more to what Robbie does well. Okay, you got to make sure that whatever it is that he's comfortable in with regard to passing concepts is there. The RPOs that he's comfortable with, you got to make sure that that's in there. The reads that he's comfortable with making in the zone read game and or the power sweep game, whatever it is in the quarterback run game that you're going to utilize that he does well, you better make sure that all that's in the first script, okay? But I have no clue what the offense would truly look like because everything that they've run with Robbie has been so scaled back.
Yeah.
That I truly don't know where they think he's comfortable with and what they don't. Like it would be a guessing game for me to say what the offense would look like.
That's what I'm worried about, Jhead. And I want to see Robbie Ashford get a shot with the full offense. I really do at this point. But it scares me that the coaches are so scared. That's what I keep saying. They're tight, dude. They're so tight about everything. You got to loosen up at this point. Hey, you lost 3 games. I know you're worried about recruiting and what it's going to look like to those guys, but my gosh, I promise you, if you play a little bit looser and you start having a little bit of fun out there, the recruits will notice that too.
They will. They will notice that. And look, right to his credit, Robbie put up a significant amount of points on Ole Miss last year. Now they've improved defensively. But you get this game in our house, and he was running more of an offense underneath Harsin than what he's been able to run underneath Freeze to this point.
Conference has been locked.
Oh, damn. I talked that much, huh?
I don't know why it has that voice activation thing. That's weird.
Well, okay, real quick. Dank said he would cringe at the thought of Peyton Thorne ever starting at quarterback. Why? Let me see. There's 2 Peyton Thornes. Why wouldn't you start Peyton Thorne at home? Why he hasn't given you any reason to doubt him at home. He would not take another stat for me on the road. I would win, lose, or draw with Holden Gerner or Robbie Ashford. Peyton Thorne's done. I've given him his chances on the road. He's failed miserably.
I think to build any kind of chemistry, you've got to decide on one.
I understand that, but why would you not? Why would you be? Do y'all not feel more comfortable with Peyton Thorne Saturday at home?
I honestly don't know at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't.
Really?
Yeah.
He hasn't really.
Because of his road performances or because of even some stuff at home?
Well, even some stuff at home, like even the Georgia game, like he didn't play an A+ game. Like he still missed on a lot of throws and he didn't do anything super exceptional. All his big games came against teams that we overmatched.
Oh, he had some pretty throws against Georgia that were dropped.
I'm with you there. I don't know. I just don't think it could be any worse, man. The offense is just.
I'm with you on that.
Good right now.
That's why I said on the road. it can't get any worse than Peyton Thorne on the road. I don't care who it is. It's not him. He's not taking another snap from me on the road.
I think to me the other thing, and I
I
don't know.
You can't do that. You got a road quarterback and a home quarterback. I understand that, but
I think once you make a decision, you know what I mean? Where's the locker room at on this?
That's a great question.
The players will tell
That's a
you
great question.
who should be starting. And if there are players, if there's a huge section of the locker room that does believe that Robbie should be starting, I think that's a reason. I don't know that. I don't know that to be a case at all. I don't know what those guys think. I have no clue. But I do know that transparency is what's best for all parties involved when there's any question at all or any subjectivity to question. So I'll leave it at that.
All right. Let's see. 7983. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Hey guys, it's NB Weagle from the board. Just wanted to reach out to you and started to hang up almost because you guys just started to go into some of what I was going to ask about. It was frustrating last night when Auburn was down 2 scores and Robbie is out there and he has 2 tight ends, 2 running backs with him. It's not set up to get you back into the game. And knowing that Peyton Thorne has struggled on the road, I just don't understand why the coaching staff hasn't made the decision to start preparing Robbie or Holding for those passing packages just to see what happens. And so that's what I'm hoping as we head into Ole Miss week, is that they are at least preparing Robbie or Holden for some of those passing packages. That way you don't have to do the 3rd down flip because you haven't practiced Robbie in any of those 3rd and long passing packages that he's needed for. So just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
That was something I questioned today when I was going back and looking at things. Is it possible? Okay. Let me always preface this with, I don't know. I'm just questioning things. Okay. I don't know the answer.
Fair.
Is it possible that when they're doing reps in practice that Robbie's only getting this package that they throw out there because he gets out there and they get the 2-back gun? They have these specific plays for him and they don't give him other things. Is that possible?
If he's the number 2, I pray to God not, Cole.
I do too. Look, I hope that's not the case. I'm just questioning. I don't know. I mean, they don't give him anything else. Is it possible he goes, well, we didn't practice that. Can't do it. I hope not.
I mean, that's a fair question, dude. It's fair. And the answer is, I don't know, unfortunately, man. But I'm with you, dude. It would boggle the mind if that's true, though. Like if you are not prepping your number 2 to run the full offense. Ooh, buddy. Jeffrey, what do you think?
I'm like you, dude. I hope not, right?
Yeah.
Man, no way. You've got to have somebody ready to run the offense. What if Peyton Thorne goes down?
Right. What if he has a high ankle sprain, first snap of the game?
Now what, you're stuck with just a package for Robbie Ashford? I don't.
Yeah, I can't see that, man. That's. But Cole, you present an interesting point because that's what you see with him.
Now is that the limitations of their trust in him? Probably so.
Well, yeah, it is 100%.
Right. Obviously,
I can answer that with full confidence.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, that ain't a guess, brother. That's a guess.
Here's what they have to figure out, man. Who's going to be the guy to take you to the mountaintop?
Ooh, Uncle Rico.
Oh boy.
Okay.
You know, Jeff,
he was going to
all podcasts. He's been waiting to fight that one out.
That sun's been hitting it just right.
Yeah.
2822. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
This is Cole from Knoxville. What's up?
Oh, all right.
Oh,
you know what, Cole Pinkston, this dude called last week, has some fantastic stuff just for you, and you were stuck in the middle of the lake.
I sure was. I wasn't in the lake. I was in the Gulf.
Oh, even worse.
Yeah.
All right, Cole. What's up, Cole from Knoxville? What's on your mind tonight, big dog?
Man, I think you guys have brought up some fantastic points, but I want to hear around the horn here. Do you think that Peyton Thorne's lost the locker room? Do you think? And I asked that because I don't know if y'all noticed this or not. Last night during the game, actually, Keontae Scott just tweeted out the number 9.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I went and looked at his timeline. I didn't see it.
He deleted it.
That's
Oh, it's even worse.
He probably got a call from coach to take that down.
Keontae, you can't do that, dude.
Can't do that.
Screenshots are a real thing, brother.
Oh no. Oh.
You think he's lost the locker room?
Well, he's lost him, obviously.
That is another fair question. A very fair question.
Man.
Cole, I just don't know, man. Like I'm with you. Obviously, it's a very fair question that you're presenting, and obviously the anecdotal evidence is Keontae making that tweet. Robbie's number 9. How much of the team feels that way? Is Keontae the only one? What's the relationship between Keontae and Robbie? I don't know all those things.
Right. Right.
I do know this. When you have a quarterback competition, the locker room will tell you who the leader is. The majority of the locker room will tell you this is who needs to be on the field. And if the team is telling Coach Freeze that Robbie needs to be on the field, then you need to play Robbie. And if the team's still supporting Peyton, then you need to play Peyton. And I'm going to quote my man Cole Pinkston. You need to make a choice about what you are going to do, and you need to stick with it and stop trying to play kindergarten of admitting people's feelings. Play to win the game the way you know how and coach it. That's it.
Well said.
0697. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from? Zero 0697. You're live.
Hey, this is Tommy. I'm calling from Auburn.
What's up, Tommy? Tommy from Auburn. What's on your mind tonight, big dog?
Hey, man. I just want to say. I don't know if he's lost the locker room or not, but I got a call back.
Tell her you'll call her back in just a minute there, Tommy.
Yeah, tell us what you're thinking, Tommy. Did we lose Tommy?
Yeah,
Tommy.
we lost him.
He got 2 blocks by something there.
Yeah, man. He was talking on the can, Cole.
Yeah.
4120. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from? (4120). You're live.
Hey guys, y'all got me?
We do.
Yes, sir.
Guys, this is Luke from Syrup Maker Country.
Luke from Syrup Maker Company.
Country.
Oh.
Okay.
Where, Maple?
Yeah.
What is it? I don't know.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, Luke, where are you from?
Cairo, Georgia.
Oh, Cairo. Yeah. Maple. He's from Maple, Alabama. No, he's from Cairo, Georgia. Yeah. All right, man. Luke, go ahead, big dog. I'm sorry.
How about y'all fellas tonight?
How about you, big dog?
I was calling. I heard the caller from Iowa earlier, and it made me think about something. I'm not an X's and O's guy. I'm more of a baseball guy. I've coached my whole life, and something that's really been on my mind pretty heavy watching Auburn the last couple of weeks. And, you know, a lot of people on the board wanting to talk about the offense last year that Cadillac and Will Friend and Ike Hilliard put together at the end of the year with Robbie compared to, you know, what we're seeing on the field now. And my thoughts on that is I know that a lot of people are really happy that Hugh Freeze is so open and honest and doesn't have this coach speak and, you know, things like that. and I agree to an extent, but the players, if they can read what we're reading on a message board, they can see what their coaches are saying. And if you look at what were we at the time when Cadillac led Texas A&M, led us to the win against Texas A&M? Both teams were what, 3-6, or what was it?
Yeah.
Damn, was it that bad?
Yeah, it was 3-6.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
so
cold.
that team was inspired, and I know it was at home, not on the road. I know that's kind of what y'all have been talking about with Peyton Thorne tonight. But that team was inspired. They felt confidence from the top down.
Yes.
The same as y'all, whoever employs y'all each and every day, they inspire confidence in y'all that y'all are doing a great job running Auburn Live and the things that y'all are doing. When the head coach is going out into the public declaring, it's a talent deficiency, we're in a building stage. All of those things go better unsaid. I mean, I think that everybody knows that, and you don't have to proclaim it to everybody for everybody in the world to hear. As a coach, the one thing I've always tried to do as a coach is start from the top down of always instilling confidence. I have confidence that every time I lead my team into a game, whether the team's more talented than me or not, I'm going to put my best product from the coaching level standpoint on the field and let it trickle down to the players. And I know y'all guys that have played sports have even felt that. I mean, these are still, they may be, young men that have already passed this age or that age, but they're still young men, and they're still looking up to the adult for the room for confidence and things like that. And I just don't feel like that the proper thing to do to get a team to have any faith to go in and win a football game is to tell them how they don't have the talent before you even go play the game.
Luke, I hear you, man. I've always kind of thought that was his message to the fans.
Yeah.
But still, I hear what Luke's saying. You know what I mean? Like, those players are listening too. So I understand what Luke's saying, but I do think he was saying, listen, y'all need to be patient with us. We're here. And we're a long way from here, which is where LSU, which is where Alabama, which is where A&M, Georgia, where they are.
Yeah, I think he's trying to be transparent and set expectations appropriately to where they should be. I also think there's a psychological aspect to it, and I'm going to take a counterpoint to you, Luke, that he's wanting his kids to play with a chip on their shoulder. He's wanting people, to play pissed off. He's wanting people to play like they're counting me out. He's fostering an us against the world type mentality at times, and he's setting it up for a David versus Goliath moment every time he takes the field. So while I can understand what you're saying psychologically, he should be building them up, we don't know what he's doing behind the scenes. We see 10 seconds of a press conference, and people are kind of running with that a little bit more than I think they should. Because I think behind the scenes, he's telling them everything that they need to hear, positively speaking, about how they can win, about how they can overcome what Vegas betting lines are out there, or what people think of them, or what the perception is. And that message is purely to the boosters. That message is to the fan base. That message is to media, basically trying to set expectations. Cole, go ahead.
Yeah, I got two things real quick on both sides of this argument, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, yeah, it's my job to observe Hugh Freeze, and what I know about him is that he is going and talking to him as soon as that leaves his mouth at a press conference. Hey, team meeting, let's talk about this. That's the kind of coach he is. He's a player's coach, and that's why I don't really fear that he's lost the locker room. I don't fear that. Now, on the other side of this coin, you've got different caliber athletes at Auburn than you might have at Liberty. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you got guys that came in here as 4 stars, some 5 stars, guys that have been told, hey, you're really good. When they hear that, hey, we got, we don't have what we got. We're not there yet. They might take it wrong. Because we live in a society now where it's very easy to take something wrong. Okay? Sorry. That's what it is. But, also, I don't think a lot of those guys see it as they're the underdog. I really don't. I think some of those guys think, I'm a competitor. This is who I am. I don't see it that way. And that could be misconstrued. if he says something like that. But I also don't think he's saying, hey, you're not good enough. I think he's saying, hey, I wish I had 2 of you. We need 2 of you. I need more. We got some good guys here, but I got to have more. That's sort of how I take it.
I agree.
Hey, no, hey, whatever your name, you're not good enough. We need somebody better than you. I take it as if I could clone you and have another one to throw out there at times, we could be better.
Yeah, he's never dogged anybody in the media ever. You know what I mean? Never taken a shot at a player, never even thrown them underneath the bus. For the most part, I think most of the time he said, the buck stops with me and I'm the coach and so on and so forth. Go ahead, Jeffrey.
No, that's good, man. Keep us going, Zach. It's good stuff, Luke.
1 2 5 3. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Jhead.
Go ahead, Jeffrey.
Oh.
That's good, man. Keep us going. One second.
Hello?
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
Okay, great. This is Bob from Houston.
Hey, Bob.
Hearing a lot of feedback, gentlemen.
Yeah, cut that down in the background, would you, Bob?
You got to just listen to the phone.
I turned it off.
Okay. You good now.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, I called about a year ago.
Yeah.
During the great potato famine that we had for a couple of years.
Potato season.
I asked a question then. If we were so undermanned, undersized, undertalented, whether going to a triple option, Cole, you may remember this, going to a triple option type offense would be beneficial for us. It seems that we're in that same situation now. And during the last 4 games when Cornell Williams was head coach, we kind of drifted towards a run-heavy offensive game plan. Should we do the same thing again? Just give up on the pass. I say in quotation, give up on the pass, on the forward pass. Let's go Army, Air Force, Navy style. And one more thing, if I may make a comment about Coach Hugh Freeze. I'm an engineer. I work in the offshore oil business. The one thing that I've learned from leadership is I share the credit and I shoulder the blame. Okay, as a leader for my team, I would never, in a meeting or anything else, say something about the junior engineers or other engineers. It's always, well, that was something that I didn't look at, but if it's something that works, in engineer number 2, engineer number 3, number 4, they all teamed up and came up with this great idea. So I do think Hugh Freeze is wrong in publicly saying that we are talentless or talent deficient or anything like this. And that is the big difference between a coach in Boulder, Colorado, and the coach in Auburn, Alabama.
All right, man.
Gentlemen.
We're about to clip one here in just a second, Zach, so I can get on my Boulder roll in just a minute.
I'll say I don't know if it was a good time to bring that one up, giving up 40 unanswered to Stanford, who lost to Sac State a few weeks ago.
Yeah, man. Look, you want to be a Colorado fan? Go cheer for Colorado. Okay. Bob, I respect you. First of all, let me address your triple option question. Absolutely not. Do not give up on the pass. Okay. You're still trying to recruit wide receivers to this team. The last thing you want to do is become Paul Davis from Georgia Tech, where you can't recruit a wide receiver for the next 10 years. All right. So no, you don't give up on the pass. Number 2, Prime can be Prime all he wants. He can talk about they're great. They're sensational. His offense is fantastic. His defense is phenomenal. He's got the best coordinators ever, and he still can go out there and lose a 29-point lead to Stanford, which is the worst team in the NCAA that has lost to an FCS opponent and has not beat a Power 5 opponent. The only team that they have beat is TCU, who has 2 Power 5 wins. Anybody else, Nebraska, garbage. All right. Colorado State, hot garbage. Who else did they beat? Arizona State, atrocious, dude. All right. Take your Colorado stuff, Take it. Go ahead, Bob. Cheer for that team all you want, big dog. Clip this, Zach, and go ahead and make sure you put it on the site. All right.
Seems to have made it all the more funny with the guys.
Get fired up, big dog.
I don't know why that is.
Just
a counterpoint to you on the road games and the home games.
Yes, please.
Is it possible? I think that the game plan, I would argue that the game plan did have some of those elements of the Service Academy offense against Georgia. What happened to that against LSU? They tried it once in the second half and was like,
wait a minute, what are you talking about?
Some of these run plays that they had against Georgia when they did it with Peyton Thorne. They did it with Peyton Thorne too. Kept them on their toes, I thought. Game plan's totally different on the road all year. I felt, especially California, that was a terrible game plan, I thought.
Have we seen anything like – you remember the it was a play action rollout and Diggs kind of – no, it might have been John Emery. Came out of the back. I mean, he might have even scored on it.
It was a wheel route out of the backfield. Yeah.
Have we seen any, like, you talk about innovator, Cole? Have we seen any innovation from this offensive play calling, this offensive scheme? We haven't seen jack crap. We haven't even seen a trick play for a struggling offense.
Not in the passing game, Jeffrey. What I'm trying to say is the Georgia game did have some innovation with the run game for sure.
Yeah.
And then they took it away.
We haven't seen it since.
Yeah. Didn't see it.
Or didn't see it last night.
Had a 61-yard run in it against Georgia. It just goes away the next 2 weeks after a bye week. I don't get that. That's a weird game plan. If you had a weird one, I don't even want to call it bad anymore. It's just weird.
It's frustrating.
It doesn't make sense.
Unsensical.
I'm
nonsensical.
And my wife hates this, but gosh, I like to operate with logic, and that doesn't make logical sense to me.
Your wife hates that.
Yeah, she's not a big fan of that. Never. You're
being way too logical right now.
Oh yeah, you can't be logical all the time. That's not good.
All right, Zach, keep us going, big dog. How many we got?
2 more.
All right, cool, good.
5960. You're live. We
Get here
with this call.
Get here whenever you can, big dog.
Hey, fellas.
Hey. Oh, Kid Country.
That's about a week old.
I hear you. What'd you think about last night, big dog?
I'm gonna give you my. I'm finna get. Hey, a lot of people might not agree with Edward finna tell y'all, but you just asked me what I think.
Go for it, Edward.
Get ready, corner. I'm finna set it on fire tonight. First thing I'm gonna tell you, we got some bad offensive coaching going on. Whether it be Hugh Freeze or Philip Montgomery, I don't know who you want to put that on, but there's some bad coaching going on the offense side of the ball. You can get Walker White, you can get Perry Thompson, you can get Bryce Kane. They won't overcome bad coaching. There's some changes got to happen right there. ASAP. There's some bad coaching there's bad game planning. There's bad scheme on the offensive side of the ball. I'm gonna go to Cole that called in a few minutes ago. I'm gonna answer your questions, Cole. Hey, I'm just a fan. I ain't affiliated with nobody down there. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You ask that Peyton Thorne lose the locker room. No, he didn't lose the locker room. Peyton Thorne never won in the locker room. It's time to tell it like it is. I seen something 2 weeks ago, but I didn't want to say it then. This team does not even want to pay for Peyton Thorne. This team knows who should be on the field.
Edward, hold on. Do you know that Peyton Thorne is the captain of this football team?
I know he's the captain.
Do you know how he got into that position? Do you know how he got that position?
They got bamboozled.
How did he get that position?
They got bamboozled. Just like we got bamboozled. The product on the field is not justifying him staying on the field. And there's no knock on Thorne at all. What you showing me doesn't justify. Okay, forget Robbie. I'm not even going to bring Robbie into this. Why has Holden got a chance? Why hadn't Holden got a chance? You know why? I'm going to tell y'all why. And I don't care if folks get mad with me. I'm going to tell it like it is. So that's what Edward do. Because I made a big investment on this quarterback, and I'm not going to let you see what Holden can do. It's BS that folks saying that Robbie Ashford can't throw the football. I call BS on that. Robbie Ashford can throw the football. But I'm not going to let Robbie Ashford throw the football because I don't want the controversy. Robbie Ashford can throw a deep ball. You've seen it time and time and time again. He can throw the deep ball. I asked y'all 2 weeks ago, if we have no passing game, who was the best fit for this team going forward? Everybody said Pinkston. You can stick with that pick and we'll go 4-8, maybe 5-7. But it's hope. I'm not saying Robbie Ashford is Peyton Manning. That's not what I'm saying. I said, who is the best fit for this team? It's bad scheming. We Georgia fool. That was fool goal, Georgia. That's why it really didn't get too high. It was fool goal. There's something about Jordan Howard and the energy that'll get a team that will play above what they really at. You seen it. Jordan Howard took Saban to 4 overtime with TJ Finley at quarterback, and the same team went to the Birmingham Bowl and lost to Houston. We look too much in there, or they improving. No, hell they ain't. No, they ain't. They're going backwards. You better start seeing it for it really is and let the chip fall where they lay. There's some bad coaching going on the offensive side of the ball. But Hugh Freeze, you got a good friend in good. Now, I'm not a head coach. But you used to dig down in that Auburn vault. There's some stuff from that 2013, 2014 run with Nick Marshall at quarterback. Put 9 as your quarterback. Jacqueline Hunter, Rhonda T. Forget this. I need Jeremiah on the field more often.
Yeah.
Put him in that corner Grant, Ontario McKayla role that week. Get him involved in his offense because that's a playmaker. The problem is the damn playmakers is sitting on the sideline. You got some dogs on the team, but they're not on the field. And once they get something rolling, they go back to the sideline. That's coaching. That's coaching. That's coaching. You can call it, say what you want to say. They can talk about prime this or prime that. Who Auburn beat? We go to Texas A&M and get embarrassed. That's cheesy. We go to Georgia come and that was a close game, but I'm gonna tell you something. Expect more of this. Unless the coaching on the offensive side of the ball change, expect more of these heartbreaking losses. Because truth be told, that's what Ole Miss fans got when he free. Oh, but we ain't gonna talk about that. He beat Alabama twice. Did he make it to the SEC championship? And one of them years, he also some teams he was supposed to lose to. We ain't gonna talk about that. Man, y'all gotta have a good night, man. I'm out of here.
Appreciate you, kid. I think he says a lot of things that other people are thinking.
Yeah, he does. Always.
I think that's a pretty popular opinion, all of them. I thought I agree with him.
No, look,
I'm just being devil's advocate for a lot of this, by the way. A lot of this I completely agree with, even going back to Anthony. I do have to play devil's advocate. We can't all agree. That's a boring show, okay? Far as, man, it's all about the quarterback, man, right? But here's one thing that Edward said. He said, and I thought about this last night, and probably again this morning. My opinion doesn't mean shit. I don't see these kids practice. I don't know if Camden Brown can run the right route. I don't know if he's not putting his foot in the ground and going the right way. I don't know if that's. But to me, the most talent, two of the most talented receivers on this team are Camden Brown and Caleb Burton.
Yeah.
And last night they both got. I think they got 2 targets. We never saw them again.
Yep.
They were throwing freaking fades and back shoulder throws to Nick Mardner. They were throwing it to who's the kid from LSU? Coy freaking Moore. Like, is that the most seriously, man? I'm is that the two most talented kids that you can find to run that route and to throw that pass to? I don't know. I don't see them in practice. Maybe it is, but if I don't think it is. I think Caleb Burton's more talented than Coy Moore. I think Camden Brown is more talented than Nick Mardner. And I think every time you throw a pass to Nick Mardner and every time you throw a pass to Coy Moore, you're not throwing it to the most talented guy on the team. Again, I don't see practice. I don't know.
I want to agree with Edward on this point. he is absolutely right that there has been some bad offensive coaching. There has been. I don't think it's all on the coaching. I think there's some execution definitely laced in there with that. But I'm not going to shy from what is the truth, and that we have not performed up to our maximum capability to this point, particularly on the road. I did think we were going to lose that LSU game. I thought we were going to lose that LSU game by double digits. I did not think we were going to lose that game by 30 points. And so I understand everybody that's upset and everybody that has an opinion that is probably contradictory to mine about where this team is or what it's capable of being. So I hear Edward on that point for sure. And never mind. I'll let it go from there.
My point of the whole receiver thing, Jhead, was that's the same way people are looking at this quarterback thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we don't see practice. We don't know what Robbie looks like. We don't know if he's throwing it to the scout team every other play. We don't know if he can't read defenses or can't do this. We saw him last year in a different scheme, and he wasn't great. I guess my thing is accept what this team is. It's a rebuild.
It's exactly what it is.
Don't go beat your wife because Auburn lost by 30 to LSU in a rebuilding year. Chill out, dude. Have another bourbon. Like, don't put your expectations so high that you're telling people on the corner to go pull your leg behind the dumpster because they're not losing their pennies over this.
Well,
I don't think that made any sense whatsoever. Did anybody have any idea what I was trying to say? Oh, I don't have any. Well, I think people, you know what I mean? Like, accept that this is what it is, right? Like, this is not a good football team. The defense proved last night that they're not great. They're good. They're just not deep. I think Cole's. I think you hit it right on early in the show. And my problem with the defense is they were fantastic these first 5 games, but now they're having to play. They're getting tired. They have no depth, and it's starting to show. So how good are they? What should people expect moving forward? Cole, what are your expectations when you watch a football game? Why would you, as a fan, if you were a fan, you were watching that last night, what would piss you off about that game? What would make you lose sleep about it?
Well, as long as I've been alive, I can't help but analyze things. I think it's why I'm here, honestly. And it's just not fair to me the way that people attack when, hey, look, the record's exactly what we thought it would be. Okay? Right. That's exactly what we thought it would be before. Now, yes, you have a point. It should not look the way it looks right now. And that does not give you hope going forward with this season. But how do you ever expect somebody to rebuild something if you don't give it a chance? How do you expect that? That's wrong. It's not a fair.
What's up, guys? Nope.
Right? Not fair. And that's the problem with when you look all the way across college football. They're given. I mean, look at Florida, Billy Napier. They kept saying this guy's on the hot seat. He's not ever going to get it right. They won a big game against South Carolina. It looks like they're starting to move the right way. Hey, Graham Mertz. Hey, Billy Napier. That guy sucked at it was Wisconsin, whatever he was at. He looks pretty good. I mean, guys, you got to give something a chance to unfold. You got a quarterback out of the second portal window last minute. It's not there yet. I think that's one part of it. The other part of it is, loosen up. I'm going to say it again, loosen up. Because fans are going to put pressure on you. Okay, we got it. That's what you do. That's what fans do. They're upset. They're unreasonable at times. They get upset about every little thing. You're going to have to block it. You got to block it. Players, coaches alike. And loosen yourself up or you're going to be in trouble this year. And it's going to get worse before it gets better every time. That's always true in life. and in football. So that's the way I'm looking at it right now. You're 3-3 with a schedule that's hellacious, as it always is, in a rebuild. But if you don't loosen up, it's going to be 3-6 pretty soon. So have some fun with it. I mean, forget about what everybody's saying. Do what you got to do. Stick with something, and then let's roll, right?
So Auburn has the remaining schedule is at home except for Vanderbilt and Arkansas. Is that correct? I thought there was one more. Jhead, are you frozen or just really pissed off right now?
No, I'm reading the comments, bro.
Is it bad?
No. I was reading what our friend Bob Cannon had to say.
Oh, Bob, he was great, man.
Yeah.
Zach, what were you saying on the road schedule?
Are the 2 road games?
That's it.
I believe so.
Yeah, we've only got 2 road games left in Vanderbilt and Arkansas, and that's it. Every other game.
So that's 1-1.
So can you get one of Mississippi State, Ole Miss, or Alabama? I would say no to Alabama right now.
You got New Mexico State. You got Mississippi State. You better win those games. You got Vanderbilt. You better win that game. I don't care who you are. Auburn has never depleted a talent, not enough to beat all 3 of those teams. All right. So you're six win total as far as I'm concerned. And then who are the other ones? Ole Miss, Alabama. There's one more. Arkansas.
Yeah, Arkansas.
You could easily go 0 for 3 there. 2 of those games are at home. I think Auburn's going to be a touchdown underdog, at least to Bama. They already are to Auburn. To Ole Miss. Although Zach, you said dropped to a 6 one-score game, which is you get 3 for playing at home, so it's really a 9-point spread. I hate the Ole Miss. Jhead, you like that matchup? I don't. I don't like any matchup with a team with an offense with a pulse.
I do like the matchup. I like it at home. I think this is one that Freeze has prepared for. I think there are wrinkles that they're ready to tap into for this game. I honestly believe that. And I think that Ole Miss could be a little bit stale coming off a bye into Jordan Hare. Look, there's a very good potential that we just saw this against A&M, right? We go in, we get absolutely embarrassed in College Station. We come back home, we play phenomenally against Georgia. All right, we go on the road, we play absolutely atrocious in Baton Rouge. And then we turn back around, and guess what? Usually when you get beat like this, and Cole, you played in college, I didn't. But when you suffer a defeat like this, you're typically able to flush it pretty quick, right? Because you just were really never in the game. And it's a little bit easier to turn the page into next week. When you have one slip away at the very end, that one can eat at you for a couple weeks. So I think this one will be easy to turn the page on. I do like the matchup because I do not think the weapons are as explosive. And look, Lane Kiffin is the best play caller in the entire SEC. He schemes things open, specifically in the run game, that are just absolutely fantastic. But if we're dialed in, I do think crowd noise can affect Ole Miss to a degree. And look, guys, they haven't been lights out on the road this year.
I'm backpedaling.
Yeah, they struggled until late at Tulane. They had to pull away from Georgia Tech in the 4th quarter. I think the game against Arkansas in Fayetteville was close, or what was it, a 7-point game? They got blistered in Tuscaloosa.
Scored 1 touchdown.
1 touchdown. So it's not like they're juggernauts on the road. Now they played fantastic against LSU at home. I mean, they put it on them. But I think this game is set up for us to potentially be a little bit more competitive than some people think.
Including me, Jhead. I went and I said, let me go see what Ole Miss did at Alabama. Zach, we're going to get to the final call in just a second. I'm going to finish this thought. Let me go see because I think Auburn's defense, at least up to the LSU game, was comparable to Alabama's. I think Auburn's defense was very good. So what did Ole Miss do against Alabama on the road? They scored 1 touchdown. They scored 10 total points, 1 touchdown and a field goal at Alabama. That gives me reason to believe Auburn might have some hope here for Saturday. Let's get to that last caller, Zach.
1973. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up? My name's Cameron. I'm from Wetumpka, Alabama. I think I called a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, what's up, Cameron? Welcome back, big dog. What's on your mind?
Oh, what's up, guys? I just was listening to the call-in show, and I wanted to ask. I didn't really want to focus too much on the game again, like the last time I called. So I wanted to ask, at this point in the season, with what we've seen from the offense, like with Hugh Freeze getting mad at the lack of RPOs that have been used. I mean, if we're assuming that he screamed at Philip Montgomery just to run the ball, like how much of this offense do we have to see from Philip Montgomery before we start to maybe look elsewhere? And I'm 100% with whatever decision Hugh Freeze has to make. But what do you guys think we need to see, or lack thereof, from Philip Montgomery for us to kind of pull away from him as our offensive coordinator?
All right, Cameron, something to think on leaving us with tonight. Cole, jump in here, big dog.
I can answer this with a little more confidence than some of these other questions. And Cameron, hope you're doing good, man. I met Cameron at a game not too long ago.
Oh, yeah, I knew I remembered him from somewhere.
I have spoken with people in the building that lead me to believe if there are not more RPOs in this offense, Hugh Freeze can pull his hair out. Okay, I've heard that from pretty good sources. Also, we've heard Hugh Freeze say in press conferences, I got to be involved in offensive meetings a little bit more. Those two things right there tell me everything I need to know that, yes, I think he trusts Philip Montgomery to an extent, but he's also going, we have some fundamental differences here in how we see things. I think it's kind of obvious when you see that the game plans are looking discombobulated. Keep using that word. I feel like I'm overusing it, but that is it. That's what it looks like. It's jumbled. It's not right. They make offense look hard.
Yes. It
looks like a struggle.
Yes.
It looks like they're doing everything they can to get the right play call, and they're just not landing on it.
Yeah. No, I think you're right, Cole. I think you're absolutely right. And I think, look, offensive play callers, when you've made your name on doing that, I think it's very difficult to hand that off to somebody else.
It is.
We witnessed that with Gus. You see that with the great ones, Spurrier, Kiffin, multiple others, Sarkisian. You know, there's a reason why they continue to call plays. It's because once it's in your blood, it's always going to be there. And so when you see something going incorrectly, it's natural instinct to jump in and want to fix it, right? Now, I don't think that you're going to see a change midseason. This isn't a situation where, like, Brian Harson's going to fire his wide receiver coach again, and we're promoting Eric Keesaw. Those are the kind of things that don't happen underneath, you know, a head coach, specifically at the coordinator position. So if you are going to have a change, it's going to be in the offseason when there's an opportunity to do a wholesale change the right way. But I think they'll just have to piece it together as best they can, and maybe Hugh Freeze becomes that much more involved in the offense, like Cole has alluded to, that he kind of wants his flair on it somewhat. And one more thing, I want to apologize to Bob. I was I got a little testy there. Bob, I love you, man. I'm sorry about that, and that was unprofessional on my part.
Hey, man, look, everybody's a little testy right now. It's okay.
Yeah.
Jhead, chill out, dude.
Yeah. I was listening to what Jeffrey was saying, like, man, I need to go back, you know, have that drink behind the dumpster over
there. You can attest to this because we had to cover it the past week. I saw a post on the board like, hey, how do you come from a bye week and look like that? I have made a post on the board about the balance between recruiting and calling plays for a head coach right now in the SEC. I believe there's a true balancing act with that, and I believe there's only so many hours in the day. I know that because I do a play script. It takes me all day. I have not looked away from my computer today doing that, okay? I know for a fact if you're sitting there and recruiting people and you're trying to call plays, there are only so many hours in the day.
Yeah.
I know what they did do during the bye week, and Jeffrey, you can attest to this. They recruited. They got after that.
They did.
Were all over the place. So I asked the question, do you want them not to do that? Do you want them to pull off of that? Hey, guys, get off the road. I need you in the building calling plays. There's only so many hours in the day.
Well, when you see the situation, and I understand why Hugh did what he did to begin with, right? Like, I think we all can. When you see the roster in the shape that it was in when he took it over, you're losing your 3 best players to the NFL. What you had coming back, the numbers. I'm not even talking about the quality of player, but the numbers at each position were just piss poor, specifically on the offensive line. There was a ton of work to do. And then when you start thinking about recruiting to your needs and the way you want this offense to run, I get why he brought in a veteran play caller that had a similar philosophy. But at the end of the day, I'll be interested to see, Cole, how much longer this experiment goes. Once we get into the offseason, again, this is not happening mid-year. But what does happen from a cohesion standpoint to make sure that the product moving next year is better?
Jhead, I think there's a couple people in the corner who owe you an apology. Calling you out about the proof of concept.
Mm.
See, they forgot one thing. Proof of concept can work against you too.
Yeah.
They didn't think about that when they were calling you out. So, there is a balance there where you go, all right, well, if I don't win games, if I spend all this time recruiting, is it going to matter? You got to find the balance.
It is a delicate balance.
Delicate. That's a great word.
Whew. Well, that's a good spot to end it, man. Fantastic show. I knew it would be. I knew tonight was going to be a fantastic show. I was not going to miss tonight. I had 14 calls. I think more than a dozen calls, man. Let me see if I can reel it. Oh, Charlie from Marshall Shows got us started. Paul from Hartsville. Anthony from Montgomery, another fantastic call. Chris from Iowa went in depth on his thoughts on this Auburn team. Julian, who was driving back, I think he might need to move to the passenger seat. I hope he wasn't driving. Then he had Ant from Luverne. You had Ward Dank, N.W. Weagle. Oh, Cole from Knoxville, fantastic caller. Tommy from Auburn, and his girlfriend cut him off. Remember that?
Yeah.
Luke from Cairo, not maple syrup. Bob from Houston, Edward from Selma, and Cameron got us finished off there and at the 8 o'clock hour. Once again, great show. I knew it would be. Thanks to everybody calling, listening, watching. Once again, if you're in Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, looking for somebody to sell your house, looking for somebody to find your house to buy, look no further for the help you need. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. Give her a call. Tell her we sent you. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this week. We will be back next week with another call-in show, hopefully talking about Auburn's big upset win over the Ole Miss Land Sharks. We will also have shows throughout the week. We'll be back. Us four will be back Wednesday afternoon. We'll do some recruiting, man. I'm telling you right now, this team is what it is. Put all your passion and focus on football recruiting.
Yeah.
This team is going to top out at 7 wins. Accept what this team is. Lower your expectations. Put all your focus and energy and passion into football recruiting. We're going to be covering that all as we always do. At Auburn Live on 3. We're going to have a special. If you haven't logged a subscription with us yet, if you haven't logged on with us, we're going to have a pretty good special Monday morning. Be on the lookout for that little big game day, big game week special at Auburn Live on 3. All right, folks, that's going to do it this week. We'll be back next week for Jhead, for Zach in the back, who always comes to the front, and Cole Pinkston. I'm Jeffrey Lee. Y'all stay at that left lane. See ya.